class of 2015, planning on graduating in 2014, and I'm a classics major.
I'm on blend team, so I'm a general studies major, but I'll be a
I'm a freshman, and I'm a general studies major.
Okay. Hey, I'm Alex Brown. I'm on blend team, general studies.
Okay. JP Spees, freshman, and electronics and telecommunications.
I'm a sophomore, or 2014, I guess, and I'm an accounting major.
Accounting major. All right, you do. All right, Riley.
From Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
I'm right now training to go into full-time ministry, and right now it's just
agriculture major.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I will though. Well, I'm a philosophy professor.
Philosophy professor.
So you've got your doing ethics.
Yes, I am the junior history major, and I am the loudest and proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2013, AAA.
All right, Joe. If you could. Okay, could you name a good leader, like a certain person that is a good leader?
A lot of classics majors, so I think people like Caesar.
I can't really think of one off the top of my head. I guess Tom Landry, he's kind of a big deal.
I don't know, probably a guy that works in my Boy Scout camp. His name's Dwayne.
My dad's he's a general surgeon.
My boss, Mark Bordelon, he's an ex-Marine.
leadership Pastor John McCarthy. Very inspiring.
I think like my dad, pretty.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King, okay.
When I think of the term good leader, I have all sorts of names, but I guess the best person on the list would be my own father at this point.
All right.
Someone that cares about their team, someone that...
Okay, all right, I'm sorry.
Is that what you mean?
Phrase, an example.
Oh, an example
Yeah.
of a good leader? Let's see. I think mainly like a teacher in a class probably is a good leader to me. Like they said, like an example.
Okay. All right, I'm looking for a specific person. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, let's see. I guess if a specific person. I mean, of course, like the president of the United States, Obama, I guess, is a good leader. I mean.
Okay. All right.
You know what?
Well, I know. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Tallest people from Houston. I don't want to hear it. What makes Tom Landry, what made him a good leader was that he had people believe in him, that he knew what he was doing, and he could, I guess, if they put their faith in him, then he could lead them to better things, like 2 Super Bowl titles.
Right. And what makes your dad a good leader?
He's like built a company from the ground up here in Texas. I don't know. It's pretty important.
And what made Martin Luther King such a great leader?
He inspired people to follow him, and he had a worthy cause.
Okay. And what made Caesar such a good leader?
The guy was efficient. He could get stuff done really well. He was a good orator, really important in gospel times, and a good general.
Okay. And what makes MacArthur a good leader? I mean, what qualities?
The qualities, particularly with him, because he's a pastor and because of his line of work, he has to get involved on an individual basis with the congregation and the people, and that he actually takes time to get to know them, get to know their needs, and just as a spiritual leader,
right.
He's accountable for all of the people who come to his church.
What makes President Obama a good leader? Or what makes
I'm so bad at this, I'm sorry.
It's right, yeah. What makes President Obama a bad leader? I'm sure we can mention stuff like that.
I mean, A&M, you can mention.
Yeah.
He just, I guess he doesn't listen to both sides. I mean, I guess the president, in any sense, like Republican or Democrat, doesn't listen to the other side.
Okay, so he has a bias.
Yeah, there's a bias.
And why would you say he's a good leader? What makes him a good leader?
He's a servant leader. He puts other people's needs before himself, and he leads by example more than anything. He doesn't really bark out.
He works tirelessly. He puts in like over 80 hours a week. I mean, I understand that they get paid a lot, but they do a lot. They put in a lot of time. He just sacrifices for a family.
He's the head of his department for a major corporation at age 32.
Oh, really?
And he's accomplished so much in so little time just through hard work and perseverance, and he demonstrates that through everything that he does.
What makes your father a good leader? Like, what qualities?
Well, aside from just raising me,
right,
I feel he has a good moral obligation because he raised me, telling me what was right and wrong, and he basically influenced my behavior. And for that, I kind of commend him for it because he told me what's the right thing to do. Like, for instance, he told me not to always be stuck up in my room because I won't be able to express myself as much. And I've actually been following that, and he's kind of right.
Integrity, to me, would be, it has to do a lot with, synonymous with honesty, keeping your word, saying you're going to be on time, you're going to be on time.
Right. Doing what's right when sometimes it's not always the easiest thing.
Okay.
Just caring about others and having a heart is like a goal.
Honesty, even though you know somebody's not looking.
Like just being really honest about it, just
loyalty to your values, yourself, and honesty is a big part of that as well.
And standing for what you believe in, and also not getting in the way of other people's beliefs. Also,
doing what's right when nobody's looking, sticking to your ethical guns, if you will.
I think integrity is a difficult one. So there's something about having different goals, being coherent, bringing things together in a way that means that, for instance, in ethical terms, that you're not doing things that seem to be at odds with one another.
Okay.
But you could have integrity and still be doing something bad.
Integrity?
Yeah.
That's kind of a little hard for me. I guess integrity is how how you maintain something, like the integrity of a person's image, like a president or something. I guess it just means how well they do in controlling it. For instance, like the integrity of our current president, I'll say, is not as strong as he tried to make it out to be.
What leader comes to mind when you think of integrity?
Probably my boss from last summer, my camp director.
It's my boss.
Again, I guess back to my dad.
President Lofton, Fairleigh A&M, I think he knows.
The cynic inside of me is like, nobody. That's tough to say. I mean, I think, people like M.L. King, people like that.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's more tricky. Well, they could have integrity and still be doing bad things, as I said. So that might allow me to name somebody. Can I stick with my previous one?
I mean, not any politicians. I gotta really think about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got. I guess I could say my brother in the Corps.
Maybe like someone like who definitely like donates or like gives to back.
In the secular world today, it's kind of hard to do that because the first things that come to my mind are politics, and immediately integrity does not go well with that.
Well, aside from my father, I would say some president like Abraham Lincoln or Ronald Reagan, because they did their job.
How would you define ethics?
Same thing. Integrity is having ethics is having integrity.
Okay.
Like your morals and your values.
That would be your set of morality, morals.
It's a belief system, I think, in the sense of, I guess it's how you grew up also.
I always get that confused with morality and all those other things. I guess it's your code of morals.
I'd say that ethics was about things where we use the word should or ought to do something.
Holding true to your morals, like what you think is right, and just
What I feel is right in that circumstance.
Ethics are your morals that you base your values and like your life guidelines in.
It's kind of like morals. It's basically what you determine to be right and wrong, what you determine what to do and what not to do. Like, if you see like a wallet on the street, hey, do you take that wallet, take it to your house, and hope you run into someone who may be searching for it? Or do you take it to the police station, tell them that you found this on the street?
You do.
Or do you take the money for yourself and become a greedy person, which I don't think you should do.
Can you name an ethical leader for me?
Nelson Mandela.
Pastors and whatnot, and particularly the one that I mentioned earlier.
Right. Martin Luther King? Okay.
I'm having trouble here.
Okay.
Mahatma Gandhi, how about him? He's dead too. But...
Right, that's fine.
Not in this country. Not in this country. Okay. Alright. I don't know. You have to come back to me on that one.
Well, I mean, like...
I'm not really around a ton of leaders, like big name leaders anymore, since I don't watch.
Well, I mean, like when somebody asks you an ethical leader, what's kind of a person that pops in your mind? I mean, like, you know, like presidents or generals.
Exactly, I can't think.
You can't think of one? Okay.
Not anymore. Sorry.
No. All right. Would you name an ethical leader with that definition?
Do any of the previous examples count?
Well, I mean, they can, or you can think of some other instance.
Well, I guess my dad is a pretty good ethical leader because he kind of raised me, even though I was a little bit conflicted when I was younger, on how to treat other people. Like, back before I came to A&M, I was kind of conflicted on how to treat those with, like, different sexual identities or those who believed in views that weren't Christian or something.
Okay.
And I originally was like, if they're not like that, then I'm out of here. But he eventually taught me, along with the university, he taught me to say, basically, they're not all the same. You just gotta look into them, and they can eventually become a good friend of yours.
Okay. All right, good deal. Just two more questions. Have you ever studied leadership, like in a leadership class, or had any training of that sort at all?
I've had a public speaking class, Communications 203.
Okay. All right. Okay.
3, and my dad, he's openly encouraging me to start my own groups and such, be it online or something on campus. So I guess you could say I have a little experience, and I frequently also speak for disability service.
Okay, good deal. And what year were you born? John?